Recording now. Okay, we're doing take two with Patrick Glover at Lynn University, the Brand Star Studio. We're looking at Northeastern University's study of motivation for first generation and graduate students. So we're going to put our headsets on, we hope, one way or another, if we can get this done right. Going along the way. It's very, very fancy, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And Patrick Glover, a graduate of the bachelor's program and also of the MBA program here at Lynn University. Take us back. Here's your camera. Here's your studio. The earliest days with your mom and your family, and what evolved in your childhood to get you first to a university.
Well, first off, I want to give thanks to the Most High and my mother. I grew up in a single family held household by a single woman, and which is a queen, and she did well. And my mom pretty much instilled in me young that education pretty much was the way. It was the only way to get you where you need to be and to break down any glass ceilings in your way. So I embarked on that education pretty much young.
And your mom was from a family of how many children?
My mother had 9 other siblings, brothers and sisters.
9 others.
9 other, total of 10, including her.
And then in your family, your mother was raising you and who else?
She was raising me and my older cousin, which we grew up like brothers, which is my big brother, and then my younger cousin, which is my big brother's son. And my big brother ended up getting into some trouble, so we ended up having to raise his son as well.
Okay, let's go on to the 3 main variables we've identified that people say either enable them or are barriers that prevent them from making that decision. Well, first to go to undergraduate, but especially to go on to a graduate or professional school. So let me start with one that I know is important to you, and that is your family, your mom and your grandmother. What was the experience from anyone in your family who had gone to college, or no one in your family who had gone to college?
Well, my mom finished high school, did a little college, but didn't finish. And she always instilled in me that obtaining a college degree was great and one of the best things that one can do. So I took that upon myself, was like, hey, I'm going to get 2 degrees. Matter of fact, blow them out of the water. And my grandmother, she worked so hard. She would always say, she worked from can to can. And she was like, baby, when you get older, you don't have to work this hard. Get your education.
Did they check your report cards? I mean, was it a big deal checking your grades and report? I mean, were they really on you?
Yeah, my mom worked for the school district for over 32 years. So there was no way around my mom. She would be able to find out my grades, both academically and behavioral. She would know before I knew.
So to make our academic studies happy, one of the 3 variables, immediate family, you were definitely first generation influenced by your mom and your grandmother. Now we go to a second variable, really identified now in the age of social media and influencers and YouTube and TikTok and everything. But in your years growing up, peer pressure, friends, the kids you went to school with, were they talking about college, or was that not an issue with your friends?
Yeah, it was like 50-50. Some would push the college issue from a sports standpoint. Some would have career goals and aspirations as well. And then you had the other 50% was like, just didn't know, just didn't have different goals and ambitions or people to look up to want to give them that drive to want to attain such a goal.
And were you doing sports and clubs and after school activities, or you were just studying in the library?
No. Actually, in high school, I was pretty much mischievous. So I was in a dropout.
Really?
Yeah, I was in a dropout prevention program. And by me being in this dropout prevention program, it was like a sub entity of communities and schools, which I received the scholarship from communities and schools to attend Lynn University, which Mrs. Lynn provided the money.
The Lynn family, the founders of this university.
The Lynn family provided a $100,000 scholarship for me to attend.
But you're saying
Lynn University.
Patrick Glover was a little troublemaker in high school, a little problem child? Really?
Absolutely. I ended up going to 3 different high schools.
Whoa.
Yeah, I ended up going to 3 different high schools. I had a guidance counselor. It was like a double-edged sword. I had one guidance counselor say, hey, you're not going to make it. Then I had another guidance counselor overhearing that guidance counselor like, hey, you come in my office.
So the big 3, Peer pressure and friends. Yeah, there was somewhat discussion, but there were people weren't on you all the time. Or you got to go. You got to go to college. Family, yes. Mother and grandmother. Education. And the third part of our puzzle that we identify: finances, student loans, burden. Can I really handle student loans for the rest of my life? Is it going to hurt my family? Do I need to work? Tell us about the financial questions that might have motivated you for that decision to go on to graduate school.
Well, even undergrad and graduate, it was easy. There was no money from my household. My mom, we were part of the working poor, so by me knowing there was no money, I always had to go get the money to bring things to fruition, i.e., college, for example. So I had to network, I had to fill out the scholarship applications, I had to do the proper things to align myself with the scholarship stars, more or less, I would call it, so they could come to fruition. So I had to self-discipline myself and put in a lot of work and sacrifice to get to this point.
So you win a scholarship. You had mentioned to me in the past that you had studied at Palm Beach Community College, junior college at that time, which is now a state teachers college, and you were able to transfer in seamlessly through a grant program by the family that originally endowed Lynn University a half century ago. So you're in the bachelor's program, you're completing your bachelor's degree, and how do you hear about a graduate program and decide to continue?
Oh, well, let's stop there. And this is the Patrick Glover story. I always tell people I'm the underdog overachiever. And I say that because I wasn't the first person selected to receive the scholarship to Lynn University. There was others selected before me, and they ended up dropping out, which put more weights on my shoulder because when I got the phone call, "Hey, Patrick Glover, there's a scholarship available for you." I won the one to attend Palm Beach Community College at the time, now Palm Beach State College. Now I have opportunity to come across the bridge, I would say, the academic triangle, FAU, Palm Beach State, and Lynn University, and now attend the illustrious Lynn University and complete this knowing that someone else had dropped the ball, and then I would have to put those weights on my back and actually fulfill the commitment and assignment.
But there was a special brand new pilot study for an accelerated MBA program. Take a minute. How did you hear about that, and how did you get in this accelerated MBA program after your bachelor's degree?
Well, coming up to the graduation of my bachelor's degree, I graduated number one undergrad cum laude. So let's give me applaud and accolades for that.
Wow.
Yep, graduated cum laude. I missed graduate program by 1 point. I would have been cum laude there, but finishing cum laude, I overheard some instructors, my guidance counselor, career counselor was like, "Hey, you'll be a good fit for the MBA Express program that we're rolling out. It's a new program. It's rigorous, but you'll be a good for it." And it was rigorous. They went back and redid the program a little bit because it was consisting of a lot of work, a lot of APA paper format and things of that nature that we all know in the world of graduate, you know. But it was a great experience. We did a study abroad domestically at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the SIBO, Options Express at the time. We were able to see the whole Midwest money district. Oh, it was phenomenal. So
And then upon completion of your MBA, you went on to a career which includes what now?
career, I spent 16 years in the school district of Palm Beach County. Last recent as computer lab manager. I have a business, a consulting firm that's doing great, as well as I have another consulting firm that consists of precious metals and NFTs called Lion Order Gold LLC. I own with two silent partners. We have a health and wealth symposium that's coming up. One of our sponsors is the University of Miami, and they're going to be actually doing free prostate screenings, free healthcare
Well,
screenings.
people may not hear this interview for a year, but let me just say that every week and every month, Patrick is involved in community outreach,
Yes,
health service clinics at the public parks, through the Kiwanis Club here in Delray Beach, where we're Kiwanis brothers, I would say.
yeah. Give
And
me some love.
there we go.
Yeah.
Our Kiwanis Brotherhood is active today. Two more quick things, and we'll let you go. We appreciate you being here with us today for our doctoral research program.
Thank you so much.
And the names of some of the teachers and mentors who really made the difference, who really stick in your mind as changing your life. Who are they?
Uh, it was a slew. My godfather, Reginald Dobard, Mrs. Barbara Bean, Mr. Johnny McDaniel. Um, the list could go on and
The
on.
Lynn family,
Oh, the
the
Mrs. Christine
president of
Lynn,
the university.
Mr. Malfitano, Dr. Donald Ross, father, Dr. Kevin Ross, the son. I mean, the platform that Lynn University laid out for me uh, and my family, I was able to go back to my family as well as my community and bring resources, bring educational wherewithal, which is priceless.
The final thing is a personal comment between you and the folks who may be watching this 5 or 10 years from now, people from the broad, historically marginalized communities, people with special needs, people who expressed fears because of gender, because of race, nationality, the language they spoke at home, international students who were not familiar with the customs of perhaps the United States. Take a final minute or two with your message to people who are concerned about all the barriers that might impact their motivation for graduate school.
Number one, always give thanks to the Most High. Know that you're like that pressure cooker. You control your pressure. You control your barriers and your glass ceiling. If you believe there's a glass ceiling, if you believe there's a boundary or a barrier, you've already brought into a system of no faith and no belief. So you have to unbelieve that there's no barriers in glass ceiling and just go forward and don't give up. I told you I spent over 8 to 9 hours a day downstairs in Lynn University Library. I spent so much time in this library, I was offered the grad assistantship, which made my graduate tenureship very, very easy for me because I was able to make money and go to school.
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline. Don't let anyone not let you be self-disciplined. The story of the day and the moral of the day, always know that we're winning. Estamos ganando bien grande, mucho, mucho, mucho. Guinyin, guinyin. I say that in 3 different languages because in this path we call life, it takes all of us from all walks of life to make this thing called life work.
Mil gracias y merci bien. Patrick Glover,
my brother.
Thank you for being with us at Lynn University, where you are a very, very honored alumnus. I'm Mark Scheinbaum. Until our next visit.
Thank you, Mark.